No, well, listen, I know. There was a debate on Thursday. Yes, I know. Of course, yes, I was watching it. I should have just took a nap. It looked like that one of the candidates already were. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's been all the big rage over the last couple of hours, right? It's like, oh well, what happens next? What happens next? Well, I'll tell you what's happening right now. It is the 29th day of June in the year 2024. It is 10:12. Broadcasting live from the beautiful campus here at the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning. I want to thank everyone, of course, for joining into the show. The Sam Cams are live, up and running. Shout out, of course, Mary Murph first, Destiny Marie, I see in chat as well. At Sam Newsman Live is the Instagram, because we're still banned on Instagram at Sam Newsman. So at Sam Newsman on Instagram is where you're not going to find me. It's at Sam Newsman Live. Right, did you get that? At Sam Newsman Live. Now, that's this Sam Cam over here, this one in front of me. That is the Instagram cam, the Instagram Sam Cam. We'd have this one over here. This one is Facebook, YouTube, and X. Facebook, YouTube, and X. And of course, we are banned and blackballed, blacklisted, shadow banned, all of the above. So you're probably not getting any notifications, but that's okay. Shout out, of course, to Anime Figure Statue Collector. I see you over there. West Coast. That just all of a sudden, makes me want to think about this audience and the audience that listens to this show. Now, that we did make the top 5 for the best of Richmond, right? Right. We know that. Yeah, we got a number, a phone number, and everything. We'll give it to you next week. We'll give it to you next week. But here's what's very interesting, right? Because you would think that this Richmond Times Dispatch, it's all local, best local morning radio show. What if I told you something that you may not necessarily know? And that is that many of the listeners and participants in this show are on the West Coast. A couple of folks just now, like I was thinking about it, Anime Figure Statue Collector, Dead Man 1, happy Splatter Day to you, sir. We are all toy mercs. But they're on the West Coast, meaning what? That it's about 7 o'clock in the morning for them, 7:14. But they're still listening, and it's one of the exciting reasons why we have made the top 5. Is because we have listeners from coast to coast and all around the world. Coast to coast and all around the world, which is very interesting because here we are, this Saturday morning radio show, and on a college radio signal, small FM signal, only about an 8-mile signal. But here we are up against the best of the best here in Richmond that are what? Yes, that's exactly right. Corporate radio. Corporate commercial radio, a bunch of commercials over and over and over again. And then there's me, where you get to hear my beautiful puppet voice until I decide it's time to play some more cartoon themes, which you then just sing along until my beautiful puppet voice comes back around. Now, of course, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, and X is where we are. And also at Sam Newsman Live here on Instagram. But we are coast to coast around the world. And that's one of the reasons why what makes us interesting and different is that here we are, as like I said, a small college radio show up against the big boys. But then again, I've been reporting since Roswell anyway. So, I mean, that's to be expected. This whole setting the standard, raising the bar, and that was all me. Right. Well, when I came back, when the NDA, when some of the NDAs expired, when some of the NDAs expired, I was able to get back on radio. I was able to get back on radio, get back to what I was born to do. I was born to host a radio show on Saturday morning, and you were born to listen and sometimes participate at Sam Newsman. All over social media right now. I have people chiming in, popping into the chat. Shout out to Cato's Collection Reviews. Probably one of the only reviewers that I watch on Instagram. I mean, no, not Instagram, on YouTube. Well, hell, he's on Instagram too. Probably one of the only toy reviewers that I'll actually give a time of day to. You know, most of them get a bunch of free stuff. They don't ever tell you what's bad about them. They just tell you that you need to get it. Well, that's not the case with Cato. So you should definitely check Cato out. Should be on his show, I guess, pretty soon. We'll have to get on that. Are you guys on that over there behind the glass? Okay, they're nodding their heads. Well, yeah. What we want to do is we want to do a tour, a grand tour. You know, we are going to be on the Best of Richmond. That is from July 10th through the 28th. Cato says, you're the only media puppet I watch. Well, I'm the most trusted puppet in media. That's the case. Far be it from me to sit there and interfere with any other media puppets. But you know that most other media puppets are just human. They are. They're just human. And people use that term puppet. They throw it around. It's all derogatory. This person's a puppet. That person's a puppet. Joe Biden's a puppet. This puppet over here. That puppet over there. Skydro down in the chat. Save 15% when you use code Skydro at extremesets.com. So think about all of these things. And you think about that from July 10th through the 28th, we're setting the standard, raising the bar, going up against all the big commercial shows. So what do I want to do is I want to go on tour. So we're going to go on tour and plan to go on tour a couple of different places. I'm going to line those up. Should have more information for you next week. But Cato will be one of the places. And we'll make sure we'll do that at the front end of the competition. So that way the number can get out there and that people and listeners and watchers can vote. And you say, well, what are you voting for, Sam? Well, I say it's the best local morning radio show. You know what you're really voting for? I'm going to tell you what you're really voting for. You're voting for the future of Saturday morning. Think about it for a moment. Saturday morning was taken away from you. It was taken away from multiple generations. Why? Because the government said so. The government said that you needed to watch more educational programming. Not that I have a problem with educational programming, but when it comes to cartoons and then educational programming, I'm going to have to sit there and take a step back and say, whoa. What are we doing here? Saturday morning, a time of magic, a time of nostalgia, a time, like I say all the time, it's like I always say, you grab your sugary bowl of cereal, you grab your favorite toy, you sit down in front of the television hours and hours and hours on end. And people wonder, well, what happened to that? I'll tell you what happened. The government took it away from you. That's right. Yep, they landed on the moon, and then they took away your cartoons. Imagine that. And then they said you'll never go back to the moon again. This has been since 1972. Ridiculous. But yes, the government took away your cartoons, but then the NDAs expired. That's right. The NDAs expired, well, some of them. And I was able to get back on the radio. And I was able to sit there and grasp that magic and the wonderful, amazing, imagination-filled ether of Saturday morning. Grab it, put it in a bottle, and show up here. Who's that bottle? I'm that bottle. Bringing back the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning single-handed. That's right. With only one hand behind my back. Anyways, at Sam Newsman, all over social media is where you're going to find me. It says, I see where it says, Sir Philosopher is telling me. He's saying There's a lot of dead air on the Live 365 app. Not sure exactly what that's all about. Might be some skipping. The Live 365 app is messed up. I'm not really sure. Mary Murr is not saying anything to me about it. So I haven't gotten any word from the production staff. Do you guys know anything about the Live 365 app? Anyways, Live 365, go to WDCE.org. You can listen to it directly on the Live 365 website. Maybe that's where we were listening to it. The Live 365. Maybe the app is being screwy. Listen live at WDCE.org. That's what Skydro just said. That's what I say all the time. I think it might eventually sling you over to Live 365. But go to WDCE.org and listen to the show there. So, but thank you, Dead Man. Sam, of course, I'm single-handedly bringing back Saturday mornings. But I can't say single-handedly because this is all because of you. It's all because of you and what you do by being a part of the show, telling people to be a part of the show. How many people listen to the show coast to coast and around the world as they're just listening? May not be participating, may be driving, taking their kids to practice somewhere. But here I am, and I'm here because of you. And what I need is your vote and your help. Why? Because we need to continue to save the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning. From who? Well, from the grasp of it falling into the ether and never being heard from again. We don't want that to happen. Of course not. And I won't let it. No, 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 no. Now, of course, a couple of things here. We did have the radio-only segment earlier in the show. If you're listening to the radio, make sure you're listening to WDCE 90.1 FM. Download the Live 365 app, or, as Skydro said, go to WDCE.org. It has been June bugs. That has been the theme over the last month. And far be it from me to try to sit there and say, hey, these are the last couple of songs and things that we're going to talk about. So I'm just going to play them. And then on the other side, we'll have the Professor Deep Cut Dave, who will be with us in just a few moments. Mary Murr says that it is working just fine. It is working just fine. Shout out to White Vegeta as well. Jason Lee, see them in the chat too. Guys, make sure you're following me at Sam Newsman all over social media. Go to WDCE.org. I got some Looney Tunes jams. It's June bugs. It's the last bit. And then, of course, Deep Cut Dave, Professor Deep Cut Dave. Now, this is all radio only. I'm going to be back at 11:11. You'll be able to see my beautiful puppet face back at 11:11. But that is right. We're trying to get the word out there. Dead Man said it better than everybody else. Hashtag Sam the Vote. Sam promised cartoons and sugary cereal for all hope. And all hope that you're not lactose intolerant. Well, if you just drank raw milk, you'd be fine. You know, it's the pasteurization process that messes it all up. Anyways, 10:25 here on the 29th day of June in the year 2024. Broadcasting live now from the sunny, beautiful campus here at the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM here on the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning.
It's hard.